Greetings AI Forum audience. Welcome to AI Conversation episode number 7, the flagship series of the AI Forum, dedicated to discussing crucial AI-related matters that bridge the gap between industry, academia, and policymakers. My name is Sevicha Arthur, and I'll be moderating today's session. For today's conversation, we're exploring how artificial intelligence is reshaping the foundations of international law. As AI systems increasingly operate across borders, affecting security, governance, and human rights, they challenge long-standing legal concepts such as sovereignty, accountability, and state responsibility. To help us unpack these complex issues, we're joined by Mr. Pong Pich, a research fellow at AI Forum who holds a master's degree in law and a bachelor's degree in international relations. His work focuses on the legal and governance challenges posed by emerging technologies, particularly AI, within the international legal system. Together, we'll discuss how AI disrupts traditional legal norms, the risk of dual-use technologies, regulatory gaps between regions, and what pathways forward might look for global AI governance. Welcome to AI Conversations, Mr. Pong Pich. To set the stage for today's discussion, your article begins by highlighting a fundamental tension between rapidly evolving AI technologies and the traditional foundations of international law. Concepts like sovereignty, attribution, and liability were designed for a state-centric world, yet AI operates across borders and often beyond direct human control. How should international legal frameworks adapt to these silicon sovereigns and autonomous actors?
Thank you, AI Forum, for having me in today's episode of AI Conversation. To answer to your first question regarding the traditional concept of international law such as sovereignty, attribution, and liability that are now being challenged by the emergence of artificial intelligence or AI. In conventional law, states are responsible for the action of their agent or authorized actor. However, AI introduced new actors such as autonomous systems that can act independently across borders, as well as powerful technology companies that has the powers and influence over the rule of the digital space due to the large amount of data set that they have possessed. This has been described as silicon sovereign. What is silicon sovereign? Now, we look at an example of an AI power financial trading algorithm that has the power to cause global market disruption without any single human or state being directly responsible. In the same case, autonomous military drone may cross national boundary, potentially violating international law without a clear actor to hold accountable. This disrupts the core assumption that legal responsibility is tied to human agency or state control. Therefore, international legal framework with the help of international community must rethinking what it means to have an actor in law. One approach could involve defining the degree of human oversight required to assign responsibility as well as specifying the liability of corporations that deploy this system. Moreover, legal recognition of AI as a quasi-actor in combination with corporate and human accountability framework may help close these gaps. Without such adaptation, international law risks becoming outdated and unable to regulate high-impact autonomous systems, leaving state and individual vulnerable. In short, international law needs to evolve by redefining agency, establishing accountability for autonomous systems and corporations, and ensuring that sovereignty and liability are not rendered meaningless in the digital era. This evolution is critical to maintaining global stability while allowing technological innovation to continue.
Building on this challenge of accountability and agency, your analysis then moves into the security dimension of AI, particularly its dual-use nature. While AI can drive innovation and public benefit, it also introduces serious risks when applied in military or surveillance contexts. In your opinion, how feasible is it to implement global mechanisms like a compute cap or an oversight body for dual-use AI systems?
To respond to the next question regarding AI's dual-use nature, where the same technology or application can serve civilian or military purposes, pose unique challenges to global security. Dual-use AI system could be anything from predictive policing algorithm to autonomous weapon platform. Example of historical analogies such as treaty regulating nuclear and chemical weapons provide insight into possible regulatory structure. Currently, proposals include establishing a global computer cap, a limit on the computational power available for developing advanced AI, or an international oversight body to monitor dual-use AI. This mechanism aims to prevent the uncontrolled weaponization of AI and mitigate competitive arms race among states and corporations. While these proposals are technically feasible, political and geopolitical reality present major hurdles. States may resist restrictions that limit their strategy and economic advantages. Cooperation may also be reluctant to participate if regulations restrict profitability and market dominance. Therefore, enforcement mechanisms would need to combine international treaty, monitoring protocol, and multi-stakeholder collaboration to be effective. The challenge is balancing innovation and competitive progress with global security. If successful, such mechanism could reduce risk without undermining technological development. In essence, dual-use AI creates unprecedented risk, and while global mechanisms like computer cap and oversight body are theoretically possible, their effectiveness depends on international collaboration, trust, and enforceable framework that align security with innovation.
So, beyond global security concerns, your article also draws attention to uneven regulatory capacities across regions. While some jurisdictions are shaping global norms, others struggle to keep pace, thus raising important questions about fairness and inclusion in AI governance. So, how can we ensure more equitable global AI governance, especially for the global south?
Regulatory capacity and legal frameworks are different between regions, creating disparities in global AI governance. The EU has taken a proactive stand through its Artificial Intelligence Act, which classifies AI systems by risk and impose detailed application emphasizing human rights, transparency, and accountability. In contrast, developing countries such as Indonesia lack comprehensive legal frameworks for AI. There is little acknowledgement of AI's legal status, ethical concerns, or data protection requirements. This creates regulatory asymmetry where AI developed in one jurisdiction can have significant effect in another that lack the capacity to manage or regulate it. Ensuring equitable global governance requires a multi-layer approach. Capacity building programs can have developing countries implement foundational AI regulation. Soft law instruments such as model laws and voluntary code of conduct provide a flexible way to standardize practices without imposing treaty obligations that might be impractical. Participatory governance mechanisms, which include civil society, governments, and private actors, can ensure that voices from the global south are incorporated into global norms. By addressing structural inequality in regulation, we can reduce the risk that AI development exacerbate global power imbalance. In short, Bridging this legal asymmetry is significant for fair and inclusive AI governance. Without it, global AI regulation will remain unclear toward technological advanced regions, leaving developing countries exposed to unregulated risk and limited their capacity to shape international norms.
I have one final question. As these regulatory gaps persist, the human impact of AI becomes increasingly visible. From public services to surveillance and due process, AI systems are now directly affecting fundamental rights, often without clear legal remedies. What are the most pressing human rights challenges we must address within international law?
Hard law and soft law mechanism has role, but soft law currently provides the most practical avenue for building global consensus. Treaties offer legal enforceability but are slow to negotiate and rigid in adapting to technological change. Soft law, including voluntary codes of conduct, model law, and multi-stakeholder agreement, can be rapidly updated, accommodate diverse legal systems, and encourage incremental adoption of standards. For example, minimum viable agreement can ensure transparency, reliability, and accountability without requiring full treaty negotiation. The first part of AI innovation, coupled with regulatory asymmetry across regions, make flexible soft law approach more effective in the short term. This framework allows stakeholders to experiment, learn, and adjust regulation before codifying them into binding international law. Over time, successful soft law mechanism can inform hard law instruments, provide a pathway from consensus building to enforceable treaty. This approach balances innovation with accountability, ensuring global governance can keep pace with technological developments.
Thank you, Mr. Pich. What emerges clearly from this discussion is that governing AI at the international level is not about choosing between innovation and regulation, but about finding workable pathways that balance flexibility, accountability, and inclusion. From redefining legal responsibility and addressing security risks to closing regulatory gaps and protecting human rights, it's evident that AI governance will require gradual consensus building and sustained global cooperation. To our audience, if you enjoyed this discussion, be sure to follow AI Conversations for more in-depth talks on AI and technology-driven transformation. Join us next time as we continue to explore the evolving landscape of innovation and its impact on industries and society. Until then, thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next episode.